Hello, you're tuning into VTV News. Here are the headlines at this hour. Defense Minister Phum Quang-thanh meets with the United States, UK, French, and also Japanese partners. And later on, we'll take a look at Vietnam's efforts to promote children's rights. We'll now begin with the top news here in the bulletin. On the sidelines of the 13th Shangri-La Dialogue in Singapore, Vietnam Defense Minister General Phum Quang-thanh held separate bilateral meetings with his counterparts from the United States, United Kingdom, France, and Japan. We have more details now to follow.
In a meeting with U.S. Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel on Saturday, Minister Tang agreed to cooperate with the U.S. in searching for U.S. servicemen missing in action, or MIA, during the war between the two countries. They also agreed to deal with the post-war consequences of unexploded mines, or UXO, as well as dioxin in Vietnam. Regarding the current EC situation, both sides stressed the need to respect international law and attached the utmost importance to maintaining peace and stability, as well as maritime and air security in the region. Also on Saturday, in separate meetings with French Defense Minister Jean-Yves Le Drian and UK Defense Minister Philippe Hammond, all parties voiced the concern over tensions in the EC. Philippe Hammond affirmed the UK's agreement with the European Union's position, which calls on the two sides to ease tension and avoid unilaterally taking any action that may do harm to peace and stability in the region. For his part, French Minister Jean-Yves Le Drian backed solutions for the peaceful settlement of the conflict. On Sunday morning, Defense Minister General Phum Quang-thanh held a bilateral meeting with his counterpart from Japan, Ichinori Onodera. The Japanese Defense Minister also voiced his concern over tensions in the EC. He informed Tang of China's recent provocation of Japan's as Chinese fighters came within 50 meters of the Japanese surveillance plane. Onodera said he backs Vietnam's determination to settle conflict by peaceful measures.
Now, in regards to the EC, Vietnam's marine police and fisheries surveillance ships have been persistent in their efforts to enforce marine law within Vietnam's continental shelf. Many officers of the marine police and fisheries surveillance crew are actually only still in their early 20s, and they say they are ready to devote their younger years to the country's sovereignty mission. We'll have a closer look now in the following report.
Vietnam's marine police ship 2016 is on patrol in the Paracel Islands, where China illegally placed the Haiyang Shiyou 981 oil rig within Vietnam's continental shelf. This week, an initiation ceremony for new members of the party was held on board the ship. For the new members like Nguyễn Đức Hùng, this occasion is very special and meaningful as they were initiated while on duty in the islands.
I feel so encouraged and determined to carry out the sovereignty mission. Becoming a member of the party is a proud moment for me, and my dream has come true.
Most of the crew members of the marine police and fisheries surveillance ships are under 30. Captain Hoàng Văn Lâm on the fisheries surveillance ship 628 is only 34-year-old and has already logged off over 2,000 days on duty. His calmness and determination come to the fore when dealing with aggressive actions of China's ships.
We are determined to follow our sovereignty mission, as Vietnamese people from all over the world are supporting us regarding this tense situation in the EC.
Young officials on board the ships are mostly characterized as calm, determined, yet energetic and optimistic while on their missions. The crew members are a closely knit team and often join together for entertainment activities such as birthday parties to show common support.
We regularly hold social activities for the crew members so they can spend time together outside their duties.
The story of a young patriotic crew of officers on Vietnam's marine and fishery force ships will continue to encourage others to endure the sovereignty mission. These proud young people are the power behind the Vietnamese marine and fishery surveillance force in these tense waters.
A book by the name of Vietnam's Sovereignty over the EC, Spratly and Paracel Islands will be launched in Ho Chi Minh City next Tuesday. Now containing a wealth of historical and geographical evidence, the book aims to categorically state Vietnam's sovereignty over the EC and its two archipelagos. The launch of this book will go a long way towards helping members of the public, both domestic and international, to better understand the current situation in the EC within a historical context.
The 400-page book, published by author Nguyễn Đình Đâu in coordination with Ho Chi Minh City's Vietnam National University, goes into great detail regarding the issues currently relating to the EC. Contained within the book is a map more than 200 years ago, which clearly affirms Vietnam's sovereignty over the two archipelagos. The complete map of the unified Đại Nam, published under the Minh Mạng reign in the 19th century, is compelling evidence of Vietnam's sovereignty over Spratly and Paracel Islands.
This map was released in 1838 under the Nguyen dynasty. At that time, our country's official name was changed to Đại Nam or Đại Việt Nam instead of the previous Vietnam. Many names currently used throughout the country, such as Hoàng Sa or Trường Sa, were applied at that time. Thus, the map carries significance in both legal and historical aspects.
The book also contains several world maps collected from navigators, geographers, Buddhist and Catholic missionaries from Western countries and China, dating back to the 14th and 15th century. And each of them shows that the Paracels and Spratlys are part of Vietnam's territory.
We highly value this systematic and objective study. In the current situation where China is raising disputes over the East Sea, this study confirms the legal basis of Vietnam's sovereign claim over the East Sea as well as the two archipelagos.
The publication of this book comes after more than 2 years of research with the help of the appraisal committee, several experts, and historical sources. The publication of this document is a valuable legacy from a competent researcher of the EC history. It is our responsibility to edit it so that it can deliver its scientific evidence to the Vietnamese people accurately and clearly. The book's official launch is on June the 3rd at Ho Chi Minh City Museum with an initial print run of 3,000 copies. This evidence contained within its pages is expected to help domestic and international readers understand that the deployment China's oil rig in Vietnam's exclusive economic zone and continental shelf is a serious violation of international laws.
The National Documentary and Scientific Film Studio recently held a screening featuring films about the seas and islands of Vietnam. Now, some of these films were produced during the American War in Vietnam and in the years afterwards as the country became more developed. This silver screen event elicited Vietnamese people's patriotism and also provided much historic information about the country's seas and islands.
The movie entitled Andre Menras, a Vietnamese, by Đào Thanh Tùng was one of the 5 works shown in this event. The film features a Frenchman who has witnessed several periods of Vietnamese revolution and has become attached to life here among Vietnamese fishermen. Many artists of the studio have taken great pains to produce films about the country's islands and naval forces. These films have proved their great historical value over the past 40 years. We think this is an appropriate time to show these movies. The other 4 films shown in this event are Đầu Sóng Ngọn Gió or The Most Dangerous Position, Trường Sa tháng 4 năm 1988 or The Spratly Archipelago in April 1988, Đảo Lý Sơn or Lý Sơn Island, and Biển của người Việt or Seas of Vietnamese People. They have provided the public with a greater knowledge of the EC as well as the Paracel and Spratly archipelagos, which have had a close connection with Vietnamese people throughout the country's history.
I was moved to see these films. I hope that younger people will now have a better grasp of the country's history. We are preparing some other film scripts about the fact that many fishermen have spent their whole lives at sea. Their dedication has become a guiding marker on the sea.
The studio's upcoming project named Green Sea, featuring the link between the islands and the mainland, is expected to come out later this year.
Exotic Vietnam is an intriguing blend of many charms. This land is where all manner of stunning landscapes await like a visual feast, rivaled only by the beauty of its people and their abundantly rich tradition and culture. Here is where you can relive the past in richest color or live it up in the bright lights of the big city. With so much more to offer, Vietnam is simply unforgettable.
You're back here on our edition of VTV News. Now today, June 1st, is International Children's Day. As June here in the country has been designated as an action month for children, a series of activities have been planned throughout the month under the theme Taking Action for a Society Without Violence and Child Abuse. Now, the Actions Month's message is one of care for children in all levels of society. The campaign also aims to raise public awareness on the issue to ensure a safer and healthier environment for all children. As part of the calendar of events, many activities will be taking place across the country, including summer camps, children book launches, as well as present-giving programs. A free vitamin A supplement campaign for children from 6 to 36 months kicks off also today across the country. Now, Vietnam was the second country in the world and the first country in Asia to sign the Convention on the Rights of the Child in 1990. Now, Vietnam today is trying to attempt to promote these rights in the documents set out, including children's survival and development, as well as their protection and participation rights.
This is a presentation on children's rights to students from Nguyễn Đình Chiểu Lower Secondary School, a specialized school for visually impaired students. Minh Hiếu, a 10th grade student, is introducing the book, Children's Rights, Our Rights, and explaining the UN's Convention on the Rights of the Child through different stories. Just over 1 year ago, Hiếu was one among 30 children who compiled the book, which is made up from the ideas of 300 children across the country. The pictures are colorful and the stories are easy to understand. We learn more about children's rights thanks to the book.
I find this book very useful. I've been to many schools and have seen many students reading it. I myself understand the rights of children better thanks to it. This book promotes children's rights effectively.
The book is a prime demonstration of children's participation rights and social inclusion in Vietnam. It is the outcome of a project conducted by the Vietnam Association for the Protection of Children's Rights in cooperation with the United Nations Children's Emergency Fund and the Norwegian Embassy. If children do not understand their rights as outlined in the Convention of the Rights of the Child, they cannot defend their own rights. That is why we have adapted the Convention to a thin and easy to understand book. We want children to participate more in society. In recent years, children's rights in Vietnam have been promoted on many levels. The National Children's Forum is one such example. In this forum, children can express their ideas and aspirations for the implementation of children's rights.
And wrapping up this bulletin now is your updated weather forecast. And that also wraps up this edition of VTV News. Do log on to vtv4.vn for more updated news. We'll be back more later on with more bulletins. Thank you for tuning in, and goodbye for now.